This video shows the waterfall chart with the breakdown. Again, compare the output of charting the same data in Power BI and the application. First, we used as category DR method ID and as breakdown the environment name. In order to match the outcome of Power BI and the application, I had to perform some additional sorting in both of the applications, otherwise would be hard to spot errors or issues if they would have been made while charting the data. One thing that you might notice in the previous post and this video is that Power BI is connecting the bars with a very tiny line while I am not connecting those bars. The reason behind this is what I had always mentioned in my posts, which is why I like to keep coding to a minimum, and adding those lines will require a few more lines of code that I was not willing to do. Once we used DR method ID as categorization, we changed it to date created column. If you look to the video, you will see that when date created column is added to charting Power BI computes the date created per year by default, while my application is not grouping at all, which is why I had to change the chart type before I was able to change the way in which I am computing the date created. I believe I should also change the default approach when a datetime is added to x-axis and by default charting by grouping the data to year. This will reduce in most of the cases the number of data points we will chart initially. After a few more operations in my application, I was able to show what I mentioned in the last post, which is to see the number of instances installed per year for each environment. If you look to the chart colors and chart values, you can see that when using this type of chart, it is easier to see when the number of instances decreased, red, or increased, green, compared with next year. While playing and making this video, I noticed again that I have work to do when transitioning from one chart type to other or when removing columns. But all these requires time to implement. Is not that they cannot be addressed, it is just that they need time to be addressed, and time is sparse nowadays. The next post most probably will cover the addition of chart values. As you can see, I am labeling x-axis and y-axis, but not the values, but sometimes it's nice to have displayed the values and not to imaginary compute the value by looking where it's positioned on the chart.